What's up, YouTube? We got a yo-yo review to do today. This is the pop art from Rain City Skills and Doc Pop. Oh, and a Raindrop. Pop art. Newest yo-yo from Rain City Skills in collaboration with the man, the legend, Dr. Popular himself. Doc Pop is awesome. He is a yo-yo innovator. A lot of the coolest yo-yo tricks that have ever come out, and a lot of the weirdest ones too, have been innovated and done and created by Dr. Popular. You should follow Doc Pop on YouTube, by the way, because he's going to show you how to use this and this, the Raindrop, better than I could. So let's get into the specs of this, and then we're going to talk about the Raindrop a little bit. So the specs are, it weighs in at 52.6 grams. So that's a pretty good lightweight. It is made of Delrin with steel hubs on the side of it. It has a size A bearing, so a small bearing yo-yo. It has a 59.9 millimeter diameter with a 32.5 millimeter width. So very narrow yo-yo. It's very slim, and it's also it's responsive. It's got a high wall, classic butterfly shape. It's a responsive yo-yo. So let's talk about the Raindrop a little bit. So the Raindrop is actually a counterweight. Again, as you can see, I don't have it set up on here. I am a terrible 5A player, and I couldn't show you anything worthwhile. Go check out Doc Pop on YouTube. I'll put a link to his YouTube in the description because he's showing you responsive 5A tricks with this. So he'll kind of show you that side of it. But I do want to talk about the Raindrop a little bit. So this is kind of a new and very innovative, which is very clearly a Doc Pop kind of thing, type of counterweight. So most counterweights, particularly the traditional one, is just a dice with a hole drilled into it, tied to the end of your string, or looped through with a knot on the end of your string. And that's it. So this, let's talk about the shape of it first. Obviously, shaped more like a Raindrop, hence Rain City Skills, Raindrop. Get it? Very cool, right? It's made of Delrin. It's very soft, very smooth. It's not tacky at all. It's not shiny. It's kind of, it's like a blasted Delrin. The cool innovation is that it comes with a bearing. So see how, I pull this out. Here is a size C flat bearing with this little nub hub thing to hold the string, so you only have to tie a regular knot in the string. And it fits in here like this. And the bearing and its little nub spin. So what this does is, as you're whipping the yo-yo around, it, instead of increasing the tension on the string, it just spins the bearing. It spins the string around the bearing. Not necessarily a huge problem, but this is something that they actually add to kendamas as well, at least the pro models, and I'll show you in a minute. But what this does is it helps relieve tension and keep the tension down when you're playing 5A. So you never ever have to worry about tension while playing 5A, which is very cool. And that's essentially what this does. So it's a neat innovation. I like it a lot, and it's really neat. Let me show you how it's something that's done as well in kendama, which is sort of something that can be compared to 5A in a way. If you look here, so this is a Pro Mod Sweets kendama, and they have a tiny little bearing there. And what this does is it helps keep the string from twisting up. So it works sort of in the same way on the Raindrop, and I think that's a really neat. It's a really neat innovation. I don't know that it was a huge problem necessarily with 5A, but I think that it's a very smooth and nice innovation, and I really like it. That, in addition to it being just a nice rounded over, comfortable shape, it's comfortable to hold in your hand between your fingers like that. It's just very nice and smooth, and it feels good to me. To somebody who's a very 5A novice, who's not very good at it, this feels really good. So just as either a compliment to the pop art, or on its own just as a counterweight for whatever style of 5A you're playing, I think the Raindrop particularly is worth checking out for all 5A players, not just necessarily people who buy the pop art. Now, the good news is that you can get you can get the Raindrop with the pop art. But let's talk about the pop art a bit. So it's responsive. high walls, and the thing about responsive yo-yos is that you kind of set them up to be extra super snappy responsive, or you can kind of wear them in a little bit and they can sort of be, I hate the word semi-responsive, but they can be sort of not as snappy responsive. So you can kind of pull off some string tricks and then still pull return. And that's kind of cool as well. So I've got mine set up sort of medium-ish. If I double wrapped the string around the bearing, it would be like super snappy for like any kind of stalls or whatever. But the way that it is now, particularly with humidity, I always find it hard to kind of keep my bearings, my responsive bearings, super responsive. So we're just going to kind of go with it the way that it is. But I really like the way that the Delrin feels. Plastic Delrin is nice because you can really do a lot with the weight and the distribution. This does spin really well. And with it being responsive, it's tug responsive. So the ability to just play catch with yourself, to me, has always been sort of one of the allures of not just responsive yo-yo, but yo-yo in general. And this is very cathartic, and it feels really nice, and it feels really good to play. It's obviously clearly very well designed and well built. So this has really been a really fun yo-yo that I've really been playing a good bit of. It's enough of me talking about stuff, though. Let's go ahead and throw it around. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. All right, pop art from Rain City and Doc Pop. As you can see, responsive. Decent for flyaways. Your Buddha's Revenge. Or, no, what's that? Just, yeah. Do your stop and goes. Always fun. So the wall is high enough for stalls and stuff. The thing about responsive yo-yos, particularly, is that you really, especially ones with bearings, you really have to keep that bearing lubed up. Now this came with, I think it looked like Vaseline in the bearing, and it was pretty responsive when I got it, but I played it a bunch, and it kind of got unresponsive again. So I have recently flooded the bearing with thick lube, and now I'm getting the appropriate level of responsiveness. But just to let you know, responsive play is kind of a very like maintenance-oriented thing. You have to keep the maintenance going. As far as the shape for a responsive yo-yo goes, this thing's great. I like it. I like it a lot. It feels nice to catch. The weight is pretty much perfect the way I like it. And the walls are high enough that stalls are pretty simple. They don't fall out or anything like that. So really, really top-notch stuff there. And I like the response that they have in here as well. It really does work well. But to keep it like this level of like responsive, you have to like really keep the bearing, you know, responsively lubed. So that's that. But it is nice even just to do, like it can handle a lot of like string tricks as well. So kind of that nice old school, new school, classic, you know, you get all your classic string tricks, your classic stalls, and anything else you want to throw at it as well. Really nice. One of the things I like about responsive yo-yos is that like when it's all working out beautifully, you look really slick while you're doing it. But as soon as you screw up, you look like a total idiot. So I'm kind of a fan of that. I'm pretty glad I haven't screwed up yet on camera. It's probably coming. But anyway, so as far as the finish is concerned for your like tape measure type tricks, it's pretty much perfection. I really like the way this like sort of blasted or tumbled or whatever it is Delrin plays. I like it in pretty much every yo-yo, not just responsive yo-yos, but this is pretty much excellent. Spin times are actually pretty decent, but it's not too rim heavy to the point to where you're kind of feeling, I don't know, like, see, that's what I was talking about, make you look like an idiot when you screw up. Not too rim heavy that it makes it feel like you're playing a yo-yo that's meant for unresponsive play, because you're not. You're playing you're playing a yo-yo that's meant for responsive play with the small bearing and everything. So I like that. Master the trade that you're intending to be in. Really nothing bad to say about how this plays. This plays awesome, but like I said, with every responsive yo-yo, you really need to make sure, especially the ones with the bearings. With wood, it's different, but there is a setup. But to keep it as responsive as you want it to be, you sort of need to continually maintain and relube the bearing. Because if you throw hard, like me, you will break down that lube pretty quickly, regardless of what it is. Anyway, let's take it apart. I'll show you guys how this thing is built, and we'll sort of compare sizes to just some standard sized yo-yos. All right, we are back with the Pop Art from Rain City and Doc Pop. So this is the lube, high viscosity lube that I was using. It's still on the desk. Anyway, comes apart very nice. This was done very well. This is machined Delrin. And I'm pretty sure Jeremy still goes with Yo-Yo Empire for anything Delrin. And because this is phenomenal. If he's found somebody else that does it as well, they do it just as well as Yo-Yo Empire does it. But this is really good. So, as you can see, very classic butterfly shape, nice high wall there. Some cuts around the inside. Kind of neat. There is the pad there. I think it's hard to tell just by looking at it. I don't know that that's a standard pad. It looks bigger. Kind of looks like a snow tire type of thing. But there's your pad there. Got a hub. See, goes through the side. It's kind of a big button hub. Very cool. I've seen Doc Pop do some like pull start stuff. You really, for like the play aspect of it, you really want to look at what Doc Pop is doing with this, because it's really, really cool stuff. Here it is with the size. Here's the size A bearing. Very small bearing. Mine is, like I said, heavily lubed up. It doesn't spin on its own so much, and that's the way I like it. So for that, I like it. But you're gonna need some thick lube or a lot of Vaseline or chapstick or whatever to try to maintain that sort of tug responsiveness, because I broke it in initially just out of the box, and it does kind of get, I don't want to say unresponsive because it's not unresponsive, but it does get less responsive as you break the lube in. So you're going to want to make sure to keep your tugs snappy and responsive. You're going to need some thick lube. So it comes with in a neat bag with stickers, of course. Pop Art, Rain City. See what we got there? Those will probably be in the thumbnail. And it comes in a neat bag. And just to kind of give you a size idea, here it is next to the newest Circle City release. This will be the next yo-yo I review. It's awesome. And here it is next to the Metalhead, just to give you some sort of a size reference. Much slimmer, much higher wall, much tighter gap. So definitely your traditional responsive butterfly-shaped yo-yo, but with sort of a modern twist and some cool modern aesthetics put into it. I like it. This is definitely one that is not, I can't really say pros and cons or whatever for it, because it's sort of off the beaten path. If Jeremy didn't send me this, I would have bought it. It's that good of a yo-yo, and it's really cool. And the fact that it comes with a really cool, kind of innovative, forward-thinking counterweight is really kind of also just a really neat addition to it. I really like this a lot. I really, really like responsive yo-yos. I really like the Deep State, which I also have from Raindrop. I like pretty much all of the responsive yo-yos that have come out. I've really enjoyed them. The Gamer, the last Rain City Gamer, even the Delrin one, great stuff. And this is really no exception. And but this is such a cool like move forward, and the fact that they went with Doc Pop, who's such an innovator, to kind of help design this and put it together. It really is sort of like, if you're into responsive play and or responsive 5A or beglery play or anything like that, this really is something to check out, and something that I really think everybody should give it a shot. That's my opinion. If it's something that's sort of like, maybe, kind of caught your eye, definitely something that I would suggest giving you a shot. So check the links down in the description. These are available now, but make sure you guys like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Cheers to you. I'll see you next time.